ineffective. The bullets went through and still hit hard enough to do damage. This is an AR-15 firing a .223 caliber bullet, 55 grain. We're going to try it against the car door. Let's pretend we're in Beirut trying to stop a car bomber. The .223 bullet virtually disintegrated inside the door. Only a few fragments of the bullet and the jacket made it through. The .223 was not effective. This is all that penetrated through from the .223. We have a vest behind the target, and that's all that made it to the vest. Pretty sad. That would not enough to hurt anybody at all. That's the bullet we started with. That's what we ended up with. Totally ineffective. If that were a terrorist, suicide terrorist in a car with explosives, the .223 bullet would not have stopped him with that car, with that door, with that shot. Frankly, I wouldn't trust a .223 in a car door. Let's try a .308. The .308 penetrated the door completely. The bullet continued on and went through both sides of the vest and out the other door. The .308 full metal jacket was very effective. This is the Valmet, the semi-automatic version of the AK-47, firing a 7.62 by 39 bullet. We'll try it on the door. The Soviet 7.62 by 39 didn't do too well. Pieces of the bullet penetrated the door and went through only a portion of the vest. Marginal effectiveness. .30 caliber carbine, World War II favorite, firing 120 grain bullet, full metal jacket. See how it does. The .30 carbine bullet came apart in the door. Only a small fragment made it to the surface of the vest. Not at all effective. Let's see what 100 rounds of .45 from a Thompson submachine gun will do to a door. Well, this is what 100 rounds, 45 ACP from the Thompson did. Looking here, I can only see about 30 or 40 holes, but you've actually fired 100 rounds, so you got a real tight group. Some went through. I can't open the door. I'll show you the target. You've got quite a few holes in the target. It's hard to see. Not all rounds penetrated through. It's hard to tell how many did and how many didn't, but probably a third or a half of them penetrated through. Pretty devastating. Aren't you glad you weren't sitting here? This is John Powers, who's a master machinist, who's made a lot of amazing things. This is one of them. What's the range of this piece?
Depends how good a shot you are. If you're real good, 2,000 yards.
2,000 yards.
On a 18-inch target.
Amazing. Well, we don't have 2,000 yards. What we're going to do is we're going to try this, just for the doubting Thomases, we're going to try this against the car. You saw some other things penetrate a car. We're going to see if the 50 caliber will penetrate the car. You ready to do it?
Sure.
Here's our 50 caliber hole. It went into the door. It came out of the door. Went through the target, of course. I have a surprise for you. It also went through, it's heavy, half-inch piece of steel. So you can imagine that it also went through the other side of the door, which it certainly did. It came out and God knows where it ended up. 50 caliber, you'll have no problem going through a car. You're looking at a fuel tank, a standard vehicle fuel tank. It's filled about a quarter filled with gasoline. Now, you've all seen movies in which they shoot at cars and the cars blow up into a big ball of flame. Now, we're going to shoot right at the gas tank so we know we hit it. Let's see if we can set it on fire. We're going to use ball, standard 308 ball, and we're also going to use ball 308 tracer. Let's try the ball first. 2 shots. Okay, now we're going to put 2 tracer rounds in it. I didn't see any flash of smoke out there. Thank you. We'll try some tracer rounds. Well, I think you could probably see the flash from the tracer going in there. But if you look out there, the gas is pouring out and nothing's happening. We'll try another tracer. I'd say tracer is not too effective in starting a gas tank on fire. Just for the heck of it, we're going to try 223 tracer. We tried 308 tracer, didn't do anything. We'll try a couple of these, 2 rounds. Nothing happening. So much for tracer. Now, I know some of you watching out there were really looking forward to seeing that gas tank explode. Well, we don't want to disappoint you maniacs, so we've set up 2 containers of gasoline, which are guaranteed to go up in a big ball of fire. Just watch. Well, Rich, that sure is a big one you got there.
Oh.
What the hell is that?
It's a pair of earmuffs. You put them over here so you don't get their eardrums hurt when you're firing big guns.
Oh!
Big guns, in fact, like this 50 caliber rifle here of mine. This actually is originally a Mauser. It says Mauser 1918 on this. The serial number is 277. It was originally in a 13.2 millimeter. 50 caliber is 12.7. So the original cartridge for this was sort of a short, fat 50 caliber, slightly less energy than today's 50 caliber. But in World War I, it was designed, it would hit an early tank, which had about a 1-inch plate steel in front of it, which was good enough to stop even a 30-06 armor piercing. But this big old thing would just hit that 1-inch plate of steel, go crashing through. So a big hunk of lead going about 1,000 feet a second, and a big piece of steel going bouncing around inside the tank until it hit something soft. I was corresponding with a writer from England who had inquired in a gun magazine about anyone who had these old rifles, these Mausers. This was the first model anti-tank weapon ever made. And it turns out that in the Enfield Royal Arms Museum in Enfield, England, there's a gun similar to this with a serial number 300 something and a sign that says world's oldest known anti-tank weapon. Well, this being serial number 277, the English writer wrote back, who's doing a book about these, says, "Gol blimey, and looks like you've got the oldest known anti-tank weapon in the world, this particular gun right here." Someday I'll go over to the Enfield Arms Museum and spray paint in their second oldest. But anyway, we're going to fire a 50 caliber unusual round. This is a style of a Glazer safety slug. It's a hollow bullet completely filled with number 6 lead shot suspended in oil. And we'll fire it into this gasoline with a burning torch behind it and see what kind of reaction we get. Now, if you watch real closely on tape...
Oh, then I can't.
Hang on, let me get set. Let me tell you set, Richard.
Don't shoot until we say so.
Get the camera. Get down.
Don't shoot until we say so.
Okay.
You're going to shoot. It didn't say so. Well,